Let me start off by saying, do not bother commenting with when do we put the punctuation inside the quotation marks, when do we put it outside? It does not matter. And I'm preempting that question because anytime this kind of stuff happens, that's what I get asked. And there are rules about that. For if you're writing for like a magazine or a newspaper, different publications are going to have set rules about where things go. And maybe a college professor or two might have really strict rules about whether to put it inside or outside. The SAT does not care. It is not about that. That is not a rule that we talk about in the SAT. It is purely part of this question to distract you from what's really going on, which is that we have a comma, a colon, a semicolon, and a period. I don't care whether it's inside or outside of it. I only care what does a period do? What does a semicolon do, right? So automatically, I'm very skeptical of C and D because I know from other experiences that a semicolon is used to connect or separate two complete sentences. That's exactly what a period does. So how could one of them be right and the other wrong? It's very, very unlikely. So that already kind of doubles my chances of getting it right. And that has nothing to do with the fact that the period is inside the quotation marks and the semicolon is outside. They are not going to test that on the SAT. Ignore it. It is a distraction. They're purposely putting it here to distract you. It does not matter. So now our choices are, do we need a colon, which has a rule between using a complete sentence beforehand and then some sort of extra thing after, or a comma, which is also used to just join clauses together. So let's just see what's going on. We're going to focus on this part. Epicurus defined pleasure as the absence of pain in the body and of trouble in the soul, positing that all life's virtues derive from this absence. So if we apply the colon rule here, it checks out. Epicurus defined pleasure as the absence of pain in the body and of trouble in the soul. Could we put a period there? Yes, we definitely could. And then it doesn't matter what the other piece is because it's extra. It could be a sentence. It could be an extra clause. It doesn't matter. So that checks out too. But that's not the answer. The answer is A. And this is rare. So this question's hard for a bunch of reasons. The quotation marks is its own thing, but like I said, does not matter. Do not ask me. I don't care where you put the quotes versus the other punctuation. It's rare, though, that we have these situations where we have to think about the way the colon is used stylistically. It's not quite stylistic, but the colon is wrong here, to be clear. It's not like A and B are both right, but A is better. A is right, B is wrong. The problem with the colon is it's very much a period, right? It's telling us that this sentence is over. So yes, we're adding something extra, but structurally speaking, the sentence is over. We're not continuing the thought as if it were continuing the sentence. This extra clause has an ing. And ing clauses, we see them all over the SAT. They are used to add on extra thoughts, to continue a thought in a way that's not its own complete sentence, but is still a continuation. And so the colon here would be way too strong of a punctuation mark to kind of just separate these two clauses. We want them to flow a little bit more from the main sentence into this extra clause, because really, who is doing the positing? Epicurus is. We're continuing to talk about him. It's an extra clause grammatically, but the meaning is still consistent with what we've been talking about. So the colon here would be too big of a break, too much of a separation. So that's why it's wrong. If you have questions about that aspect, feel free to put them in the comments. But again, if you're worried about whether the comma or the semicolon or whatever goes inside or outside the quotation marks, you are missing the point. There is a reason why grammar is the easiest place to improve in the SAT. It is that there are a limited set of rules that the SAT asks about, and they do not deviate. They do not randomly throw in things that you've never seen before. So the punctuation situation around quotation marks is random. It's not on the list. The SAT will not ask about it. Do not worry about it. If it seems like it's part of a question, it is their way of trying to distract you from what's really going on.